The soul, that intimate but unknown companion. The soul is the cosmic essence that constructs us and ultimately gives us form, and the body is the form and face that this cosmic essence gives us, and through which we know ourselves and act autonomously. Friends, I approach this topic with great interest because I understand and see that something so essential and intimate in the constitution of all cosmic beings, including us humans, is so difficult for us to know and understand. The cosmos or cosmic entity is an intelligent and sensitive being, or God, or whatever we want to call it, with the capacity, let's say, of mental recreation, to construct, through its great creative thought, the entire cosmic framework that we are beginning to discover and value as somewhat advanced human beings, with our own capacity to observe and value the environment or nature that surrounds us. And of course, at this stage of human understanding, we begin to wonder if, apart from that face and body we already recognize when we look in the mirror, and which we know will eventually die and turn to dust, there is or will remain anything else, of an immortal or imperishable kind, with which we can better endure our death as living beings. On the other hand, this is where the struggle between religion and science may have arisen over religious indoctrination in the faith that an immortal soul exists and that those of us who behave well according to its doctrines and teachings will be saved and gain immortality. And on the other hand, the most extreme or incredulous science tells us that the dead go to the grave and the living go to the barn, that is, that everything perishes and goes with death, and nothing remains of the human being. Well, I believe I have some experience on the subject, as I will explain at the end. I have my opinion, and I believe that both religion and soul-denying science are somewhat mistaken. And what would true cosmic reality be then? Well, yes, the soul exists, and what's more, we could say it's the only thing that truly exists. And no, there is no distant heaven or hell, among other things, because space exists only as the creation and internal thought of that cosmic being, that is, we all exist, share, and live in the same space-time. And even less will we be judged by that cosmic being, God, since no Almighty can create a child and then punish them for their flaws. Of course, in sin comes penance. If you think and act positively, you will be happier, and if you do so negatively with destructive intentions, then it will further distance you from the truth and cosmic satisfaction because you are destroying rather than building positively. But let's get to the issue at hand, the existence of the soul. And the drawings express it clearly and easily. The universe or cosmos is created by the cosmic being in an intelligent and sensitive manner. That is, this being or great thinker conceives infinite points of intelligence and sensitivity, and with them, intelligently added and organized, creates and forms an infinite universe, and elements and characters of that infinite universe are what we all are. But as we have said, all are, and are, components of cosmic intelligence and sensitivity, which, although they change and transform from one to another, are born and die, all are, and are, elements composed of those intelligent points and foundations with which the cosmos constructs us. Therefore, if we wish, we can easily distinguish what is the body or circumstantial or transient face of a cosmic element, and what is its soul or essential points of cosmic intelligence and sensitivity that creates and sustains us, but never dies. But let's show it with an example in the drawings. The first example shows a balloon with a painted face, which could also be replaced by a human being, where the face would represent their bodily features. But the balloon is also filled with the air that gives it dimension, facial expression, the ability to fly, etc. And that air doesn't die when we pop the balloon, rather, it goes to its natural space, to refill another balloon if necessary. Well, that air can be considered the immortal soul of the balloon. Then we have the example of the tree, in which, if we study it in depth, we will see that it is built and sustained entirely by physical, chemical, biological, natural, etc. laws, and that when we uproot and burn the tree, all these laws that built it continue to exist and build other trees. Well, all these constituent and constructive laws are the immortal soul of the tree. Then we used the example of a mathematician, who as a human being has many qualities, and therefore we won't analyze them all, but rather the simplest, being a mathematician. From a young age, he was interested in mathematics and dedicated his life to it, learning it, researching it, teaching it, etc. However, mathematics is not exclusively his, but rather belongs to the very essence of the cosmos, and therefore when the mathematician dies, this mathematics will continue to exist as an immortal soul, which the mathematician shared. But we can also extend the soul even to inanimate objects, such as a science book, which we can burn if we want, but we will never burn the science that the book taught. In short, all created elements in the universe have a constructive soul that lives on when the element dies, an immortal body, form, or face, which disappears upon death. Therefore, and in summary, we can say that in the cosmos or universe, everything created has a creative essence that sustains it and is immortal, and it also has a mortal and transient body or face that defines this creation. Personal experience. Now, many will tell me, yes, of course, a lot of theory, but where does all this lead us, and who can put all this theory into practice and grasp it in their mind? Well, anyone can, and in all likelihood, we will all quickly achieve it. All we need to do is become aware of all these circumstances, and gradually shift the animal self and attachment to our body and face, and shift it toward the essential self of our inner cosmic constitution. All it takes is time to understand and assimilate it. And I say this because I have done it. And I refer you to my practice, because at 76 years old, I have long been accompanied by a cancer that will lead me to my destiny sooner or later, but if it weren't for this, it would be another cause or reason for reaching the same end. And what are my feelings and understanding about this? Well, I no longer see myself exclusively as the Fernando self, but as a 76-year-old man, seen and observed somewhat from the outside, and a little more involved, full of, an understanding of my cosmic essence. I'm not afraid of death, and I understand that it's the right and proper path for this 76-year-old being who accompanies me and whom I've always loved. Of course, I feel sorry for my family members, who are somewhat attached to me, but I understand that it's something that has to happen, whether today or tomorrow. For now, nothing more, friends. Thank you for listening.